Hey everybody, Cohh here with another thoughts video, the second one on Baldur's Gate 3. Now, this is going to be a little bit shorter than normal because, frankly, pretty much everything I said in the first thoughts video rings true and goes right into this one. I have now completed Baldur's Gate 3 in, I believe, just under 150 hours, close to 2,500 quick saves, and I have to say, now that I'm done, Baldur's Gate 3 is an incredibly special, unique, and magnificent game. There have been no other games that I have played that have attempted really to do what this game does. It is really a pinnacle of what a CRPG can be. And frankly, I thoroughly enjoyed every single second I spent in this game. This is a game that when it is, you know what, I'm going to say it. When it's completed, will possibly be a game that is not going to be surpassed for years and years and years to come. It is a tribute and testament to how incredible games can be as a whole. And it is trying to do things and in some ways achieving what I would argue most other games, it's not even on their radar. This game is one of the most immersive experiences I've ever had. It has some of the most free-form gameplay I've ever seen. It has some of the most passion I've ever seen in a project. It has some of the most thoroughness I've seen in a project, and we'll return to this in a minute. And frankly, again, just from beginning to end, I had a smile on my face. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was fantastic. Now, as this is a video specifically about the final thoughts, particularly me finishing the game, I want to say that everything I've said up to this point, I fundamentally believe in, and I 100% feel is true. However, I think it's important to mention, if Act 1 is 100, Act 2 is between 90 and 95, and Act 3 is between 70 and 80. This game is not finished. And if you want the full experience of this game, I would probably wait a couple patches. And let me tell you why that is. We have spoken so much about how this game sets the bar, how it does things that no other game has even tried to do, how the first act is just a beginning to end phenomenal experience. But here's something we're not really talking a lot about, and I feel that this is important to mention. This game not only sets the bar externally, but it sets the bar internally. And what do I mean by that? I mean that Act 3 does not meet the bar of Act 1. It feels like two different studios made those acts. Act 1, I at no point felt any hesitation in doing every single thing I wanted to do. Every time I did something, my whole party reacted to it. It was rock solid. It felt amazing, and I just was 100% immersed. Act 3, I felt like I was constantly looking over my back to make sure that something wasn't working improperly. I frequently was surprised that things were not reacting to things that I did. Things would not react as I expected them to. My party and NPCs would talk about things that didn't exist, or I hadn't done yet, or I did a different way. And it got to the point where that phenomenal facade that Act 1 and Act 2 built definitely started to crumble a bit. And I started to, instead of it being this kind of immersive CRPG paradise, there were times in Act 3 when I was like, yeah, this is just a game. Not all of Act 3, mind you. Like I said, 70 to 80% of it feels great, same quality. I loved the area of Baldur's Gate. I loved some of the locations. Many of my favorite aspects of this game are in Act 3. but the whole picture needs more time to cook. And one thing I want to make sure that I mention here is that if there's any company that I feel will develop this to what I feel like it deserves to be, it is Larian Studios. When I first played Divinity Original Sin 2, my final act was so buggy that I had key characters in the final fight that I had killed earlier in the game. It was a total mess. It was a total mess. Within a year's time, when I played it again another time, the entire game, pretty much, was rock solid. And I have absolutely no doubt that Larian Studios will do that exact same thing with Baldur's Gate 3. So, in this final thoughts video, I want to stress that Baldur's Gate 3 is one of, if not the best game I've ever played. It is, especially the first 2 acts, one of the most incredible gaming experiences I've ever experienced. And I play a lot of games. This game bleeds passion. This game's amazing. This game is awesome. And if you are even slightly a fan of this type of game, even if you aren't, I think you may absolutely love this game. If you are in a position where you can give it some more time to cook, I would probably recommend you do that. Or I would recommend you take it very slow. As Larian has already said, they have major patches on the way. So just something to consider when you play this game. Do I think the game is playable right now? I do. But I do think you need to go in with it expecting the last little bit to maybe not be quite as rock solid as the first bit of the game. And kind of just, take that with you. So again, TLDR, 3 thumbs up for this game. I absolutely loved it. Not a flawless product, but still, even with all its flaws, one of the best games I've ever played. Thanks for watching. I will see you next Thoughts video. Stop by the channel at twitch.tv/CohhCarnage. Give us a hi. And I appreciate you. Bye-bye.